Howdy folks, Bodine52, how are ya? So you've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel, maybe becoming a moto vlogger? I'll tell you what, no matter which one of those it is, today I'm going to tell you about the 5 reasons that you should do that and you should get going. Alrighty, so those of you that follow my channel know that a few days ago I posted a video on the 5 reasons not to get a YouTube channel and or become a moto vlogger. So I will leave that link at the end of the video so you can check that out. Now, obviously I started with the one of the reasons why you don't want to become a moto vlogger. And I am a moto vlogger and I have a YouTube channel, so obviously I think you should do it. That video will tell you the things that you really got to think through before you make that decision. But today I'm going to tell you about the 5 reasons that you should do it. Alright, let's start with number 1. It really, really is easy to learn how to do this. It's easy to sign up and get a YouTube channel. It's easy to do research on how to make sure your channel's set up right. It's really not hard at all. You just go on YouTube and search in how to start up a YouTube channel. And even how to start up one successfully. And it may tell you philosophies, it may tell you certain people that think this is the way to do it. And by the way, there'll be thousands of opinions, just so you know. So like anything, you take the good from people that you respect, think they're good ideas, you apply them to your own, and you disregard the rest, just like in life, right? As I always say, don't value the opinions of someone you wouldn't ask for it from. So it's easy to get set up. And number 2, if you want to strap on a helmet, if you happen to want to be a moto vlogger, and you want to put a camera on your helmet and start talking to people, it's really not that difficult. It's not that much more difficult than if you're sitting in your living room talking about something with your significant other or somebody at work and you want to talk to them about something. It's not that much different, other than you got to make sure, obviously, that you're paying attention because you're on the road. You got to put some thoughts together. I happen to write, I would tell you in certain videos I'll put bullet points down on my phone, so I make sure that I cover them all, but generally I have something in my mind, but I've kind of sketched it out, so it's not that tough. And you have plenty of people that will help you. There are plenty of us that answer emails or messages about advice on motovlogging, and you know, somebody helped me when I first started, and we all pay that back. So it really, really isn't that difficult to get going. And you can do it really pretty quick. Alright, number 2. And I talked a little bit about this on my last video on the why you shouldn't do this. But it doesn't have to be that expensive. You can really do this on the cheap, if you will. Now, or you can go crazy and spend a ton of money doing it. But if it's just about money, there's ways to make it not so expensive. So there's tons of different devices that you can use to motovlog. I happen to use a GoPro on my chin that is actually the video that you see. And I use what's called a Sena 10C. Mine happens to be a 10C Pro version on the left of my helmet that records the audio. Now, mine also is a backup video recorder, and it also helps me talk to other riders, including my bride, Mrs. Bodine, when she's on the bike. So, I happen to like how the GoPro looks better than the sound of the Sena, so I do some playing around with those 2 devices when I edit it to get the output of what you see now. That said, I could easily just use the Sena 10C Pro, or the 10C as a matter of fact, which I actually have one that when I upgraded, I did not get rid of it. It's kind of a backup, so when I go on a trip or something like that, right? But you could really buy a Sena 10C, and if I recall, they are about, well, I'm thinking $299, but I'm not sure. I will tell you what, I'll actually put a link to all my gear, but including the 10C in the description. I'll give you an Amazon link to that as well. And by the way, if you do decide to purchase one of those and can purchase it through the link that I provided, it gives me a couple extra bucks, which I would appreciate it, but not necessary. But you can get that brand new for that amount. Comes with speakers, microphone, all that stuff. And you could be up and going quickly. And I will tell you, I bet you can find a used one for half that price. So you really, I think, can get going pretty quickly. Pretty quickly. It's not that expensive if you don't want it to be. Number 3. I think having a YouTube channel and being a moto vlogger is good for you. I think it's I think it's a way to have something to do, something you can get passionate about, a hobby. If you happen to be a moto vlogger, and part of the reasons that we ride motorcycles is it gets us outside. It kind of gets us to see. Look at this beautiful road and all these trees here, right? You're not going to really see or feel that if you're in a car or a truck, right? You're just not going to feel it. So having a channel gives you something that you can engage in and like and have fun with, because this is fun. This is a lot of fun. And I really think that it is something, again, whether you're a moto vlogger or you're starting up a channel on cameras, it's something that you're probably passionate about, or you wouldn't start up a YouTube channel or something you think would be fun. Maybe it's a cooking channel, right? The Boating 52 cooking channel, which would be hot dogs and hamburgers on the grill. That would be about it. I'd be done. But it really, really is kind of fun to do. Number 4. First of all, isn't that awesome barn? I want a barn. Focus, Bodine, focus. Okay, number 4. Creativity. I think in general, we are all somewhat creative. Now, some people would say, Mrs. Boney would say this if she was on the bike with me. She's like, I'm not very creative. I don't think that way. I'm not wired that way. But I will tell you what, this kind of helps you do that, right? It helps you be more creative. It helps you think about, should I go over there in front of those big silos and take a picture and talk about when those silos were first brought to this town and how it impacted this town back 100 years ago, and maybe show an old picture of it. And again, that's something that was just off the cuff, that you drive by and see something. And I think it really brings out the creativity in people. And you think about doing things a little bit differently. So I think it brings that side of us out, whether you have it naturally or not. And I think it also opens up you to look at different things. Because you're trying to be creative and you're trying to show your channel and you're trying to get better. I think that's an area I need a lot of improvement on. Most of you know that if you follow me, that I just bought a drone, and that's helping me think about being a little more creative on my channel as well. So that creativity, I think, is really, really a cool part of also having a channel. And the 5th thing, and I'll tell you what, in my mind, probably has been the most important to me, and it was not when I started the channel, if I'm completely honest, right? I thought it was cool seeing people drive around on their bikes, talking about things and showing different parts of the country and doing gear reviews. And out riding with friends, and is the friendships you make by doing this, I can't even begin to tell you. Again, most of you know that Harley Day Rider and Bronco Ride are two of my best friends. Flat out, I don't care if we ride motorcycles or not. The last dollar, if they needed one, if the last dollar I had and they needed it, I'd give it to them, right? I mean, I have a third close friend that lives close to me here. It's kind of family. It's not directly, but he's a good friend. We hunt together and hang out together, especially during hunting season. So, but through the channel, I've met both of those guys, but met so many other friends, rode with so many other people, went to events or places that I would never have gone to. I mean, I was at the Allegheny National Forest with 3 other guys a month ago. I'll leave those a link to those videos as well in the description. And I would have never done that or had that unless I had a YouTube channel. And for me, it was becoming a motor vlogger. So the friendships that you get to me are worth it by far. I guess you couldn't see that. You can't see it. I'll see if I could play it back. But I just looked over these railroad tracks. There's a cemetery there. I saw a nice big deer standing right in the middle of that cemetery. And I'm like, man, how cool would that be to get a picture and not on video? Going back to number 4, the creativity rate. You think differently. So, alrighty, folks. That is the 5 reasons that I think you should go ahead, get a YouTube channel, and if you're thinking about becoming a moto vlogger, I will help you in any way that I possibly can on advice or equipment. I'll hook you up with friends of mine that will help you do the same thing. Whatever you need to get going, it's a pay it forward type deal. I would be glad to do that, but I would encourage you to do it. And go ahead and get going. It's going to stink for a while. You're going to have to get used to it for a while. But I will tell you, you will end up joining and meeting some lifelong friends. So I am working on my creativity right now. I'm going to stop by a couple of my favorite places. This is an old train station in Chelsea, Michigan that they have parties at. It's just kind of a cool place, as well as the clock tower that happens to be Jiffy Mix. So really, really cool places. And I'll tell you what, I cannot recommend enough that you go ahead and get started. So this is Bodine52 checking out from the train station in Chelsea, Michigan. Be safe on and off the motorcycle, folks, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.